Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. We will be starting at exactly 3:05. We're going to give another 3 minutes for others to join, and we'll be starting proper by 3:05. Thank you very much. Good afternoon once again. If you are just joining this webinar, we'll be starting in exactly 1 minute. We'll give another 1 minute for others to join, and we'll be starting by 3:05. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Once again, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Tonia, and I'll be the moderator for this webinar. With me here today is Mr. Abayomi Oni, one of our key account managers, and he will be taking us on the topic Power Your Tech Products and Collections with Squad Products. Also with me here is Mr. Chizoba Okoye, who will be answering any technical questions that you may be having during the course of this webinar. Remember that during the course of the presentation, please, if you have any questions, you can always drop them in the comment section or the Q&A section, and after the presentation, we'll be taking every single question and answering all of them. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Abayomi, you can go ahead, please.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to be here again. So I'll be running through a presentation for today, which is Power Your Tech Solutions with our tech products. So our tech products basically are squad products, and we'll run through a few, and we'll see how these tech solutions will enhance your business. Uh, Upcoming, I would like to share my screen. Just give me a minute. Okay, kindly confirm if you can see my screen, please.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Abayemi. I'll be running through a presentation for Squad, and it's power your tech product or your tech solutions with our Squad products. So who are we? What is Squad basically? And you may have been saying Squad everywhere. So our trading name is Squad. People know us outside as Squad, but our legal name is Abaripe. So Abaripe is a subsidiary of the Guarantee Trust Holding Company, and we are well positioned to answer all your tech-related collections solutions that you may probably have in mind. So one thing I want us to do in the course of the presentation is for you to have a sense of feel of your business. I want you to see, for people who are startups, I know you have an idea that you're cooking, that you're thinking about currently, and how you want us to power your solutions with current payment solutions that we have. So you can, in the course of the presentation, write them out, uh, explain what you think your use case is. Then I have on the call Chizoba, who is also a technical account manager, who will attend to most of these technical related questions that you may have in the course of the presentation. So Abaripe is a subsidiary of the Guarantee Trust Holding Company, and we are like the fintech arm of GTCO, and we are well positioned to attend to all your needs with regards to technical integrations and collections related questions. So basically, our licensing cuts across um, switching and processing. So they call us the Rolls Royce of fintech because there is hardly anything we cannot do. Super agents, PTSP, PSSP related solutions, and value added services. So for value added services, you can talk of airtime, the bill APIs, the USSD, and SMS. Um, Also, so these are the main core, the four core solutions we'll be talking about: online payment, virtual accounts, switching, and value add services. With regards to the online payment, you talk about the payment model. With regards to switching services, talk about the card and the transfers, and value add services, talk about the airtime, bill APIs, USSD, and virtual account. Talk about both the static and the dynamic virtual accounts. So the way I want us to just look at this presentation is we want us to take it say one step at a time. So for virtual accounts, there are two types of virtual accounts, and we talk about the static and the dynamic virtual account. But what is virtual account in itself? So virtual accounts is a Nubank specific or Nubank generated account number due to our partnership with our parent company. So we have so these Nubank accounts are basically a Guarantee Trust bank account. You can walk into any branch, you can go into any bank and make payments into this virtual account. So virtual accounts are just collection to it's just like a collection account number. So if I pay money into a virtual account, it automatically sweeps into a settlement account. What I mean by settlement account is your normal and your regular savings or a current account you have in the bank. So one question you can ask me is, why do I need a virtual account if I have a settlement account? A client or a merchant can just transfer money straight into my um, virtual account, into my bank account. Why then must he transfer into a virtual account before coming to my settlement account, which is my normal account? So the answer to this question is in the next page. So we'll talk about both static and the dynamic virtual account. So in this case, I would like to work with use cases. So use case in technical term means uh, your mode of operation, how you think about the business you want to start up, how your business is currently running, what projection are you looking at in the next few years if you want to come up with your business. So this is how you implement or you apply yourself with regards to virtual account solutions. So I'll be working with two different use cases for the two different dynamics that we have for virtual account solutions. So one is static virtual account. So I'll be using a restaurant for use case here, and also a church for a use case for static virtual account. So I have say for example Swiss Sensation. So the reason why I'm using Swiss Sensation is because Swiss Sensation is one of our partners. So I have Swiss Sensation, okay, and I have Swiss Sensation in K2, I have Swiss Sensation in Magodo, I have Swiss Sensation in Victoria Island, I have Swiss Sensation in Lekki. So we're using these four locations. So it's one thing for me to have Swiss Sensation in all these locations, and merchants are directly paying straight into Swiss Association global accounts, like the general account. So now that will be a problem for reconciliation, because I don't know if the money entering is coming from a Magodo shop. I don't know if the money entering is coming from, say, say a K2 outlet. I don't know if the money coming in is coming from a VI outlet. So one thing this thing addresses is reconciliation. So I can easily tell if I have a specific account number allocated to a specific unit. And this account number is a virtual account, in the sense that every money that is transferred to this virtual account will eventually sweep to the global account, that is the general account in the bank. So if I have an account number allocated to Swiss Association K2, Swiss Association Magodo, Swiss Association Lekki, and VI, so I can easily track uh, Lekki records, I can easily track VI records, I can easily track Magodo and K2 respectively. So these are actually this is one major issue this addresses. So if you know you have multiple outlets, if you know you have multiple locations, so these are one of ways or several ways you can implement a static virtual account. And you look at the use case here, it says register merchants with frequent and consistent collection. So what that means is a VI K2 today will not disappear and move to VI Ikorodu. So you can almost be almost certain that for the next 5 years you have that sensation in K2 where it is, meaning merchants or clients always walk into Swiss Association to actually make purchases and buy things. So this is one thing or one major specific that this static virtual account addresses. Another interesting thing which use case is also church. So I believe after I use this, you should get to the scope of how a static virtual account work. So even though you're just a normal person, you're not in the tech space, you can comfortably walk into Swiss Association tomorrow and you understand why they're actually telling you to transfer into a particular account, and they will tell you, okay, within the next 30 seconds, they've seen the alert even before closing your app. So that's how sweet and how interesting solution can be. So you also get alert real time. Like as I'm transferring money into your account, you're seeing the money almost real time. And that's a very interesting solution. So, and also, monies can not only just be transferred by mobile transfer. So you can use internet banking, you can go through the bank and do a cash deposit, you can use your mobile app to make payments. So these are actually interesting ways of actually making deposits into this account. So the other use case I'll be drawing up now is using the use case of a church. So for example, since we are partners with Redeem, so I'll also use Redeem RCCG. I'll also use RCCG as a use case in this space. So I have RCCG. Let me see the four locations: K2, Magodo, VI, and Lekki. Okay, and the reason why I'm using two places on the island, two places on the mainland, is so they will not say I'm favoring island over mainland. Yeah, so everybody is fine at this ground now. So when you talk about the four locations I've made mention of, so you have the RCCG global body. So if I'm paying tithe into a certain virtual account that is allocated to RCCG, K2, RCCG, and all these other locations, I can easily track from the global state, that is from the headquarters, that, oh, okay, the tithe that came into RCCG K2 is this amount. The tithe that came into RCCG Magodo is this certain amount. So I can easily know. So basically, like I said, what it addresses is reconciliation. It addresses very robust settlement settlement so it addresses settlement issues. It's a very robust analytic and reporting tool that helps with ease reconciliation. It's real time, so merchant's name is always referenced. Merchant name is always referenced in the sense that I can easily see. So once I'm trying to transfer, it's going to bring out CCG Magodo, so it won't just be just out CCG. So you can see the particular location that funds are transferred. So you can play with this solution in any way. So you can think of the use case in your head right now and say, how can I apply this? What ideas can I bring that will actually disrupt the tech space? And so because the truth is almost everybody is getting seed funding now for providing wallets, and so you too you can just come up with your own idea, but don't just come up with an idea because you want to collect money. Come up with an idea because you actually want to disrupt, and will be glad to partner with you and assist you. The other use case that I'll be talking about with regards to dynamic virtual account. So dynamic virtual account, in its sense, it's a one-time account number that functions within a certain period. A static virtual account can be in a location forever, okay, and it will continue to do its work as a collection tool. Now, in this sense, a dynamic virtual account, it's just one time and it won't be there forever. So there is always a particular time frame allocated to the dynamic virtual account. And so with regards to the time frame, so this time frame is a little bit flexible on the merchant side. So I can set, say, in the next 5 minutes to the next 10 hours, this account number should expire. So I can freestyle with the account number with the timing, but it should not exceed 48 hours. So it's a non-dedicated time-based account for collections. That's basically the summary of what a dynamic virtual account is. It's also a normal account number. Like when I mean normal, I mean Nubank generated account number. So you see it if you want to transfer money from your mobile app, it will also populate put GT Bank, it will populate the name. You can see it's very flexible and interesting tool to use. So one question you can ask is, how do I use this? How can this help my solution? How can I use this for collections? So one easy way to look at it is through savings. So you see today now we have some payment aggregators. So like I said, I want to be using our partners. So the people we actually have relationship with. So we're actually bigger boys in the space, if I may use that phrase. Sure, you get. So I'll be using PiggyVest in this sense. So you have the Pocket by Abeg. So one thing is Pocket by PiggyVest, formerly known as Abeg Technologies. So one thing about the dynamic VA that can play is that I want to make savings. Okay, I want to be paying money into, say, my PiggyVest account or something. So I can just go to the mobile app and generate an account number. Okay, a dynamic account number. So this account number comes out. I copy the account number, take it to my mobile app or take it to a bank and pay money into it. I can take it to my mobile app, insert it on my mobile app for account number details, and it populates, say, probably PiggyVest payment. And you also put the what's it called, the amount you want to use. Then you actually initiate your transaction. And after initiating your transaction completed, that account number would no longer be useful for you at that particular time. It's a one-time account number. So any other transaction you do on the account number will fail, but will also automatically refund your amount, your money using a dynamic VA. Another way to look at it is from a lending company perspective. So we just currently partnered with Zvance. So I'll be using the use case of Zvance in this case. So you go to a Zvance lending company, you want to borrow money. So you just go to their mobile app, you generate an account number. Okay, so once you generate an account number, so I'm speaking with respect to repayment. So I've collected probably 5 naira. I want to repay 1 naira today. Okay, so I will go to the mobile app or I go to the website. I populate a dynamic virtual account. So the virtual account populates. I pay my 1 naira. I've settled my indebtedness for that particular period, and I'm fine. So the next time I want to make a payment, I go again. I populate or I generate an account number. I also make my payment. So it's just a one-time account number. So, like I said, play with the use case in your head and see how helpful this use case can be. So, another major collection tool we have is what we call the online and payment processing. With regards to the online and payment processing, so people you may have been hearing things like payment gateway. So basically, what is payment gateway? Payment gateway is a collection platform, okay, whereby I can initiate collections from a particular person's website and not just going through an account number. So I don't need an account number in this space for me to receive collections. So I can collect money through your card payments. I can collect money through USSD. So I can give you a unique USSD string star something something something. We create one for you. Like I said, we're not just take this is how it should be. This is how we are running our processings. This is how the collection should be. So we are willing to be flexible in terms of engagement. We'll talk to you. We see we can even build together if you have a particular solution you want us to build for you, and we'll build it together and we'll see how profitable the collection payments can actually be on your platform that you actually came up with or the solutions you came up with. So with regards to payment model, I believe you are familiar with this particular interface here, where you see like a pop-up for you to input your card number, input your expiry date, input your CVV number, and probably your PIN at the end of the day. So you can actually initiate something like this, and at the same time too, we also do recurring payments, but just for a particular set of merchants who actually need there's a very huge need for it, and they actually have the integrity. Okay, because we have to do our compliance backend issues to be sure that they're actually certified and they actually well, and we are also well positioned and comfortable with the nature of their business before we shake hands in regards to recurring payments. Okay, so for this now, so today the use case I'm using here too is also BetNiger. BetNiger is also one of our partners. So if you go to the BetNiger platform and you are trying to fund your account, like you are trying to fund your wallet, so you see some of our competitors there, and you see Squad, pay with Squad. So if you know you play on BetNiger, don't pay with other payment partners. So you click pay with Squad, then you see a pop-up that will tell you to actually initiate your payments. So another person is if you play on 1960 bet, if you play on Naira bet, if you play on Bet Bonanza. So these are actually some of our partners that I'm just making mention of. So you see like a pop-up notification, then you can actually pay with your card, and your wallet to be credited instantly. So it's like an instant payment. So like I said, if you play on BetNiger, you can actually fund your BetNiger wallet with our Squad solution that is currently on their platform. So another thing is now from the merchant perspective, okay, I'm integrating with Squad. How can I run my payment? So the way to actually go about this is we integrate with you, we give you a payment gateway API, you get integrated, and the flexibility is so me as a merchant now, if I come to you, does that mean Squad will be showing on my platform? No, it won't show on our platform. So that's why we have the white label payments. Okay, so the white label payments will actually give you the room to actually play with the payment model, put your color, put your logo, and so it's going to look like you as a merchant, you are the one providing this payment solution. Meanwhile, backend it is Squad influenced. So these are actually solutions that we can actually help. So this simple memo data can be used to also receive international payments, and settlement for that is T+3. So if you So if you go to other payment solutions now, they do things like this. You see that settlement period is always like T plus 10, T plus 7. But the interesting thing is we settle twice in a week, and our settlement for USD transactions is T plus 3. Regards to settlement time for local Naira transaction is a T plus 1. That is, transaction today would actually reflect in your bank account tomorrow. And so these are one of the solutions we actually provide. So I won't want to bore you with this. This is a more robust collection tool. So they call it the cyber source and the direct APIs. So these are basically for financial institutions and top FI related businesses. So you talk about the card payment API. So you talk about the direct card routing for web. You talk about the direct card routing for POS. So when I say for POS, I mean for POS. So this is we now, okay, trying to leverage on our partnership with some of the card payment schemes, such as Mastercard and Visa Card, and we also leverage this relationship with other financial institutions. It could be a microfinance bank, it could be a fintech, it could be also a proper and a standard bank, with your commercial banks that you have today. So we can integrate with you, and we also like take out away third party regulators, which will make it very cheap for you to actually operate. You make a bigger margin if you go through this route. So this is not basically for startups. Basically, it's for people who are actually in the space and who would like to reduce their costs and also increase revenue. So you could actually reach out to us, and let's talk about direct card routing and also cyber source processing. So cyber source is also something similar. It also allows you to all card payments can be done through you. So this is one of the solutions that we are talking about. So they're actually a very robust tool that I want to bore you with. Also for clearing and service, clearing and settlements. So basically, it's just for, like I said, leverage on our partnership with card schemes, Master and Visa, and we'll actually stay back on to actually settle and clear for you. So you talk about IMTOs, you talk about financial institutions, so as many financial institutions as you want, and also the MFBs. So we can actually clear and settle your transactions for you, your card related transactions for you, probably on cyber source and all of that. So I want to also keep you. So this is the transfer API and PR processing. So basically, for transfer API, the scope or the model behind this is I'm an entity, I'm a merchant. I want to transfer to multiple beneficiaries at the same time. So we currently have about 4 to 5 banks on our switch, because I told you we're a switching company. So we can actually transfer funds to this directly from our switch. So if peradventure there is situation of breakdown or conversation breakdown in terms of I transferred, I didn't get my money, all of that, so I can easily trace my transaction instantly. So I don't need so you talk of issues of instant reversal for situations like this. So it's not the one that they'll tell you to go and fill dispenser in the bank and all of that. So if you use our transfer API and transfers are done via our switch, it's an instant reversal. So you get your money almost immediately. So like nothing happened, then you can reinitiate again. You know, they say the second time is a charm, or happy. I don't know how they say it, but let's flow with the spirit. So we just take it like that. We transfer, so we carry out transfer processing. So if you're an IMTO, you want to do transfers to multiple beneficiaries. So one question you may ask me is, does it mean you cannot transfer to all banks? So we can transfer to all banks, and we are currently integrating in regards to partnership with some switching companies or some payment providers who also has partnership with other banks. So we can partner with other banks, and you can also carry out transactions through NIPS related transactions. But I'm just talking specifically with regards to our switch. So you can just carry out this transaction on our switch almost immediately. So this is just me transferring from my wallet to multiple beneficiaries, is what our payout service look like. And when you talk about the value added services, So we talk about Billy APIs, your start times, your SMS, your head time, your utilities, that's your power or your energy bill. So you look at it now and look at the pricing corresponding pricings to um, the status of airtime for MTN, Airtel, Glow, Nine Mobile. So you could just play in the billing and vending space. So like I said, you don't have to have too many things. Just look for one particular area you want to harness your technical prowess and try to maximize it to the fullest. So you maximizing it, you can be in this vending and airtime space. You can have a mobile app that does payment and at the same time as an add-on or as a value-added service on your platform. You can have all of these solutions there. So we can just give you an API to integrate directly and you are fine. So one thing that you ask me is why choose Squad? I have this payment provider, I have that payment provider. So one thing is we are very cost effective. We are extremely cost effective, if not the best in the industry currently. And we actually have a very reliable service that you can count on. And this service is coming at a little cost. So is that not interesting? So the question is, what are you waiting for? Abi, that's how they say it in advert. What are you waiting for? So grab your copy now. But this one, you're not grabbing a copy, you're grabbing an API. So grab your API now and integrate with us. So we have an interesting robot information security system that will, so trust me now, it's almost impossible for you to hear fraudulent cases from situations like this because we are actually backed by a very stable infrastructure, which I know you know about. So we are a fully integrated payment company. We have all the licensing possible. So tomorrow it's not that once the CBN will come and say Squad is no longer existing because of so we are fully integrated. We play by the books. We play by law, and you can never ever, that one I can guarantee, you can never ever have a case of fraud related issues when it comes to Squad. What are our proposed commercials? So basically, for our proposed commercials, the 0.1% cap that 100 naira is basically for our fintech businesses. So if you're an SME, it is capped at 1,000 naira. But if you're a fintech, it is capped at 100 naira. That's for our virtual account related businesses. So this pricing here is basically for our fintech related business. So I tailored this presentation regards to the fintech businesses because the fintech businesses are the one getting seed funding, getting the $1 million, the $2 million here and there. So we want to just sit down together and also get a mile of your $2 million when you go out to request for seed funding. So one major payment solution so that I didn't make mention of in the course of my presentation, which is SME specific, is the Squad Pulse. So when one of my SME colleague comes on board at a later time, they will talk about Squad Pulse, which is also a very interesting tool that you could actually work with. So at this time, myself and Chizoba and probably Tonia will be taking your questions, and I believe you have some for me. So we'll actually talk about them. We can also discuss your use case if time permits. We'll tell you what type of solutions will actually apply to your use case. Thank you very much for your time, everyone. And I'll be taking your questions now. Thank you, Tonia.
Thank you very much, Abayomi, for that presentation. That was a very detailed and very nice presentation on the products. We'll be taking questions now. If you have any questions, you can put it down in the comments section. I will be taking it up from there. Mr. Abayomi and Chizoba will be happy to respond to any questions that you may have. While we're waiting for people to drop their questions, I will be dropping our contact email here in the comment section in case you have any question that you remember after the webinar, and you can always reach out to us to ask them. You can always also ask to reach out to Mr. Abayomi or Mr. Chizoba regarding integration or your product or anything Squad integration for your website. So I'll be dropping that in the comment section while we wait for any questions. We'll be giving from now, we still have time, so we can give 5 minutes for people to drop the questions in the comment section, and we'll be happy to answer them. While we're waiting for that, Chizoba, I don't know if you have anything to add for this presentation.
Hi, Tonya. I really don't have much to say. I think Abemi has covered everything. What I will just drop the our documentation link on the chat box so that at least if you don't have questions immediately, you can always review our documentation and reach out to us if you have further questions or even product that you would like to learn more about.
Okay, thank you. So we have two questions up in the comment section. First one is from God's Will. It says, I'm currently using Squad Code. The charge is around 1%, but is there a way to pass? Okay, Mr. God's has removed his question. Okay, so I'm currently using Squad Code. The charge is around 1%, but is there a way to pass the charges to the customer at this time? Chizoba, would you like to answer that?
Um, yes, thank you. For that particular question, we have a flag for pass chat that's specifically for the payment gateway integrations. So there's a flag that you can pass in your initiate payload, known as pass
Okay,
charge.
let me take the question then. So if you are past 1%, okay, so the 1%, it's a back-end integration that you can do from your side. So that's if you did an holistic integration with us, okay. Then there is a back end to this where you can increase the fee that you actually pass to the customer. So, for example, if Squad is passing a 1 naira to you, you can pass a 2 naira to the customer where you make a 1 naira margin. But in most of the cases, you see that a Squad is passing a 1 naira bill to you. You as a merchant, you are passing as high as 10 naira to a customer. So the differential of 9 naira is also made up to you. So the interesting thing is our pricings are very low and are very interesting for merchants to actually come on board. So you have enough room to play with your margin that you get to make at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you very much, Abayami. So another question from William. He says, thanks for the detailed presentation. Do you cater for collections from outside the country, and is there a limit to it?
Okay,
About
yes, we do cater for collections from outside the country. So, with regards to collections, so collections can be done in two ways. You can either use our online processing medium, okay, which is either the cyber source, that is card related transaction. It can also be a payment link related transaction. So, I will generate a link for you. This link you can, so for example, someone from abroad can actually buy your stuff here in Nigeria. So you just upload the link on your website or on whatever you want to use it for, the use case that would actually warrant your payment link. So you populate the payment link. Um, once you populate the payment link, the receiver or the sender of the funds can actually initiate payment on this payment link, and the money will get to you. But the settlement time is just T+3, so you can receive transactions from outside the country using either our payment gateway, our cyber source card related payment scheme, and also payments link. So, for example, you have something like GoFundMe that we kind of do. So there is a payment link that you can use to click on. So I'm not saying you do GoFundMe. I'm only saying a payment link such as that can also influence, can also be used for USD related businesses. So you can use a payment link, you can use a payment gateway, and you can use a card processing collection tool, which is either our cyber source or our DCR.
all right, thank you, Abayami. Um, okay, so I have a question from Olatunde Olumide. He says, please regards the white label to customize model. I'm seeing secured by Squad Co. Um, does anybody understand that question? or is
I
that
don't know if Chizoba is still on, but if he can hear me,
okay? So
she should take
Chizoba,
that.
Olatunde Olumide is saying that please regarding the white label to customize model, I am seeing secured by Squadco.
All right. Hi, Tonya. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So regarding white label, right? We
Yes.
allow a level of white labeling of the model, but of course we can't do 100%. Removing squad. So at the footer, you can see powered by squad, of course, but it's not so visible. It's faded. So, but you can replace the squad logo on the model with your own company logo, and your company logo will replace that of squad. So at least most people, when making payment, look at the model itself. Nobody actually pays attention to the footer, and the footer is actually faded, so it doesn't really disrupt your business in terms of having your name mostly on the model. So you can replace the squad logo on the model with that of your business.
All right. Thank you, Chizoba. So Mr. Godwill is asking once more. He said he's using payment link, but there is no option to pass the charges to the customer. Hi, Abami.
But
Okay.
Chizoba will take that.
Okay.
All right, I will look at it. So, currently as of today, if you integrate, right, there is that option to pass charge. I know that that conversation for the pass charge on the payment link is currently ongoing. I think that's is being worked on. So I'm sure in the next couple of weeks or days, you should be able to have that available on the payment link option. But as of today, if you do a direct integrations with us, you'll be able to pass charge to your customers for the payment gateway.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Godwill, if you still have any more questions regarding this, you can always send us an email. I dropped the email in the chat section, help@squadco.com, and we'll be able to answer. You can also request to have a call with us, and we'll be able to speak to you. So Olatunde Olumide is asking regarding virtual account charges. I saw 0.1% capped at 100 naira, but he's hearing it is capped at 1,000 naira. So Olatunde, the charges for virtual accounts is 0.1% capped at 1,000 naira. I will be dropping the link to our pricing page shortly in the chat section so that you can have a look at our charges for all our products at a glance. Um, okay, so that's currently all the questions. Earlier during the Q&A section, Chizoba dropped a link to our Squad API documentation. It's currently here in the chat section. You can always save the link and look at it at a later time. You can look at the link and use the documentation if you can integrate your website. Chizoba, would you like to shed more light on the Squad API documentation and how they can use it?
All right. The Squad API documentations are easy to use APIs, right? They are clearly detailed sample requests and sample responses as well. Basically, all our APIs require an authorization key. Your authorization keys are gotten from your Squad dashboard. We have two environments: the test environment and the production environment. So the test environment is Sandbox. We'll be dropping the link on the chat. Right, so you can log into our create an account on our test environment, pick your API keys and play around with the APIs. If you don't want to do much coding, you can use your Postman to test the APIs. So that's basically, so we expect that by convention you go to a test environment, do your integrations, and after you're done with that integration, you can now switch to production environment. For some of the services, they are actually restricted services, like the virtual account service, for instance, is restricted to only registered business. So we expect that you reach out to us if you're interested in the virtual account service, and we can profile and grant you access, even on the Sandbox environment, to be able to play around with the APIs. So once you go through that, I'm sure you'll be able to find it quite easy to use. Simple HTTP calls, get patch updates and post requests depending on the particular API you're interested in. So, and while integrating, we also provide real-time support. We're able to create a support channel for your team, to be able to guide them and provide real-time support while they integrate. We can do that over Slack or Skype or any preferred channel of your choice. But be rest assured that while using our API, you get the maximum support you need to be able to meet your particular business requirements with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chizoba. I believe that will be all for this webinar. All the questions have been answered, and I believe everybody is satisfied. If you have any further questions, you can always reach out to us on our support email, help@squadco.com, and we'll be happy to assist you. Also, with integration assistance, you can still reach out to us at help@squadco.com, and we'll be happy to guide you properly. Don't forget the documentation link is in the chat section as well as our pricing plans for all our products. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Abayomi and Chizoba. That will be the end of this webinar. Have a great day, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Ron.